Today, we'll be talking about one of My Funded Future's newest platform offerings, Volumetrica. This will be my first time ever using the Volumetrica platform, and I do believe that it is running off of the DX Trade technology, so it should be interesting. We'll go through everything from purchasing the account all the way to using the platform, looking at the features it has, and even going over the risk setting tool that locks you out until the next trading session to stop you from making bad mistakes. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, so I just purchased the challenge. As you guys can see now, there's a bar that says Volumetrica web platform. You can now trade directly from the web platform inside the My Funded Futures app, which is actually pretty cool. So let's go ahead and click on it and see what happens. All right, so we have to sign the market data agreement. All right, so we're now logged into the My Funded Futures dashboard. And as you can see, they have a built-in DX feed trading platform inside of it. So you don't even have to leave the dash, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get set up using this Volumetrica trading account. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is select a connection. So let's come up here to feed, double click that, and you can see MFFU. So you go ahead and turn that on. That's number one. To the right of that, all the way in the corner, we can see that it has different themes. So we can do dark theme, blue theme, etc. Which is pretty cool. Kind of gives you a different vibe. Let's just see all the different options here. Nice. So I think either blue just to match their actual platform, My Funded Futures, or a dark theme would be pretty cool here. Let's leave it here for right now. To the left, we can see that we have select symbol. So when we click on this, what we do is simply type in the abbreviation. So if I'm looking for NQ, I could type in NQ like this. We can see all the different contracts load. So what we can do is go ahead and click right here. So XQME for NASDAQ 100 futures. Nice. So it just pulled up the chart on the daily time frame. So it does look a bit similar to TradingView, but also a little bit different. As far as pulling the chart and everything, it's pretty responsive, not too bad here. We can see that they do have like horizontal grid lines. So I'll see if I can actually turn that off somehow. When I pull the chart, we can see that it kind of goes candle by candle when you zoom in. So that is something to note. It's not as smooth per se as TradingView. So just showing you guys like real time, when I'm dragging this, how it reacts to it and everything. So let's first drop to a different time frame. So let's come up here. We can type in different amounts. So seconds, minutes, hours here, or we can use some of the default ones. So I'll just do 5 minutes. All right, let's see what else we got here. So we got price settings. Okay, so it looks like these are all the settings for the actual candlesticks on the chart, the border. So basically dealing with everything within this box here. So we have trading hours, so real-time hours or electronic trading hours. We have color-based delta. Let's see what that is. Okay, so that changes those colors. We have width based on, I'm guessing, volume. The bigger the candle, as far as the wideness, it tells you how much volume was in that area, which is pretty cool. Let's see what this one was. Order based on, we can't see what that is fully, but it looks like it made the candlesticks wider. So let's go ahead and turn that off. All right, let's go to series. Under color, this is how you design your chart. So you can change all these colors to your theme. So personally, I usually do for the candles more so of like a gray or a black. Kind of takes away some of, let's say, the emotion, if that makes sense. So when you're looking at candle bodies, if you see green and red, you naturally associate them to good and bad. So it can be cool to change the colors, to whatever fits your theme. All right, so now that we did that, line style, we have candlestick, solid, auto color is slope, line width, name labels. Let's see what that does. So it actually adds the name label down here on the line that's moving, fluctuating with price. So that's a little bit crowded, so we can turn that off. Value background, show line. So some pretty cool settings in here that you can customize the chart with. Next, we have indicators. So I personally don't use too many indicators on my chart. It's mostly just like price action overlays. So it kind of tells me in the background when New York, London, Asia session are starting. So you can look in here to see if there's any indicators that you want to add to your chart. If you do, you just simply click on it. So let's say ATR, and we can see it pop up with the settings pretty easily. So after you add it to the chart, let's see how easy it is to get rid of it. I'm guessing you would come back up here and click the delete button. Cool. Next, we have properties. This is all price settings. So text size, use calendar days, grid, Perfect. Let's turn that off. Trading, we have the text size for all that kind of stuff. Trading action, so for orders, enable left, right. Positions, show flat on left. So I'm guessing down here, this is where all the data might show once we start taking positions. I'm gonna click save there. And the chart is already looking a lot smoother here. All right, and then we could set a template. So let's say, for an example, I guess if we take another challenge with Volumetrica, we can have our chart template already saved up here. So we just come in here, boom, click it, and then we don't have to do this every single time we log in, which is pretty cool. All right, let's move over to accounts. At the moment, you can see that this is my trading account. We have the balance, the equity, drawdown, profit target, and daily profit and loss. You can see the pending orders as well as portfolio here. And if I click on sync, I'm not exactly sure what that does. Maybe it's if you're trading on different platforms, this will sync that together. Not too positive. Or let's say you bought a new account, maybe you click sync and it adds that new account in here. That's something we'll have to figure out, and I'll let you guys know. Workspace, not too sure on just yet. And of course, the save button, we have layout. So the different time frames, this is similar to how with TradingView, you can have the separate chart set up, etc., which is pretty cool. And it looks like you can actually do multiple currencies, which is also nice. So let's see here. If I click on up here, let's see if we can do ES on the second chart and NQ on the first. That's pretty cool. Okay. And we could do the same thing. So we could put this on the 5 minute. Nice. So you can actually have up 2 different pairs at the same time and kind of watch them, or you can do the same pair in different time frames, right? So yeah, I like that. That's nice. All right, let's see what else we got here. Next, we can click on trade, and then this will open the actual trading terminal for us, or trading panel that we can actually trade with. So we can see open quantity, open profit and loss, daily profit and loss, quantity. Under the order panel, we have buy and sell. Then we have market, limit, and STP. We have cancel, and we have flat. We also have OCO, and for mode, we have the different mode of SLTP or multi. So we have a lot of customization features on here, which is pretty cool. For myself, I mostly just use market and limit. So the only thing I would say so far about this is that some of the abbreviations are pretty tight, so you can't fully see it. So some things you kind of have to guess on a little bit, but overall, not a bad platform so far. All right, let's see what TNS is. Okay, time and sales, and then this is depth of market. Okay, so it's built out pretty well here. All right, so now that we've dissected this platform, let's go ahead and actually find the risk settings. It's actually making this platform potentially one of the best to trade on. All right, so from what I researched, you can't actually access the risk settings from the built-in version on My Funded Futures. Instead, we have to actually go to the Volumetrica platform, and then we should be able to actually change the risk settings and all that good stuff. So I'm going to switch the video over right now to the other platform. Looks like this. So it's going to start you off possibly on the web platform. So you set it up the exact same as we just did on My Funded Futures built-in platform. And then what we're going to do is go to dashboard. So dashboard is where you're going to see all of the information on your actual account. So we have equity, balance, available, status, permission, performance. We have the challenge goals. So the drawdown is not to breach that minus 4,500. Daily drawdown is disabled. We have profit target at 12,000 for this account. And we have user goals, which is what everyone has been talking about. So with user goals, you can actually edit your risk profile. So we have several different selections here. And if you guys ever traded with Tradeabate, they have something very similar, but I would say this takes it a step further. Now, why do I say that? Because with the daily loss limits or the profit limits here, you can actually inhibit changes until the next trading session. All right. So what this basically does is it locks you out until the next cycle. So for an example, for me, I live in Texas. So the market closes around 4 p.m. CST. And if we were to pull up the My Funded Futures dashboard real quick, we can see this time remaining here. So for an example, if I was to set this parameter for user goals and I set a daily loss limit, and let's say mode was starting balance, and if we just select money and we do $1,000, that means if I lose more than $1,000 from the starting balance, which in this case would be 150. So if I hit 149K, it's going to lock me out of this account for 19 hours. okay? Because this is the current session. So once this session would end, it would allow me to actually edit these different risk settings once again, and then I can remove them, change them, do whatever I want in that case. So we can do the same thing with percent. So if I want to change it to only 1%, you just type in 1 and you're good to go. Same thing for daily profit. So let's actually talk about these before we move on to the other features. So for an example, it will be whatever is the highest balance you closed so far. So let's say on this 150K account, I had $4,000 in floating profits. This would not trigger until I closed those floating profits and actually had my account balance sitting at 154K. So at that point, let's say I'm up at 154K and then I lose 1%. That would lock my account. Now, this is amazing because if you think about it, how many times have you actually been up a lot in the market and then you end up giving a lot back just because of the fact that you overtraded or you got caught in some kind of loop that just made you make mistakes in that moment? Everyone has done it. We've all struggled with it. But now this is a solution that's actually going to allow us to trade better. So in this scenario, all we have to do is click on maximum balance and then 1%. So that means as I'm making money, as my trades are floating, the equity does not affect this. It's only when I close out for profit. So then if I close out, let's say at 160,000, I now cannot lose 1% of 160,000 or it'll close me out for the session. So this is powerful. Next, we have maximum equity. Now this one is a little bit tougher because both of these are like trailing stop losses. But at the same time, this one is a little bit more reactive because equity can change so quickly because you haven't actually closed out a position. So same logic as far as when you make money in the market, so your equity goes up, you do not have to close out a position, but let's say your equity goes up to 158,000 and then it starts to dip back down. If it dips more than 1%, it automatically is going to lock you out of your account. And I believe it will close all of your positions. Next is the starting equity. So this would be 150,000. Now I believe this one, minimum start balance, start equity, is the minimum that your balance or equity can go before it just locks you out. So if in total from the starting balance and the starting equity, you don't want to dip under 1%, you would set it like this, and then you'd be good to go and you lock yourself out. All right. So next we have daily profit. So balance and equity. Let's say my balance goes to 160,000. I can lock myself out by setting the rule here. So if I make $10,000 for an example, that would lock me out of my account. Equity, same thing. If I hit 10,000, it closes me out for the day. Weekly loss is pretty much the same thing. So you have all the same options as you did up here, but for the week, which is pretty cool. And then weekly profit. Next, inhibit changes until next session. So if you turn this on, you cannot edit these changes. You cannot edit these settings until the next trading session. So just make sure you set them to what you truly want them to be. If you need more help with understanding the different ones, make sure you go to my funded futures FAQ and they'll break down all of the different ones for you if you didn't understand how I did it. Next, you have set as default for this trading rule / challenge. So you can turn this on as well. And then this will basically have these settings turned on automatically for this challenge. So every single day, it basically kind of renews. Now, one thing I'm going to try out and let you guys know how it works is if we have both of these on, does it automatically continue locking me out for each session? That's one thing I'm interested in because it could be powerful, but then you would still need somehow to turn it off at some point. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that works. But nonetheless, I think this is the game changer that is going to make Volumetrica platform stand out over, other options we have here. So we'll see. Maybe Tradeovate follows along and gives us that option as well. And before we wrap up, if you click on reports, we actually have under overview all the information about our account. Goes in depth really nicely. We have our trade list if you want to see all of your trades in one place. We have historical orders, and of course we have economic calendar. So overall, after reviewing this platform, I would give it somewhere around like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. The main reason is because I'm so used to TradingView charts, I've been spoiled, right? TradingView charts are very fluid as well. They have all the tools you need, etc. Very customizable as well. These charts on DXTrade was not bad, but we can tell as we moved around the charts, there was a little bit of lag sometimes, or, you know, the mouse kind of getting stuck, which isn't the biggest deal. But when you're trading, you just want things to work effortlessly. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing there. Regarding the risk settings, I think that's what takes this platform right back up to an overall 9 out of 10, or maybe even higher, simply because of the risk parameter tools you can actually utilize on this account. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where if I just closed out my trade a bit earlier and walked for the day, went out and enjoyed my time with the family, and simply just removing myself from the charts, I could have made so much more money. So I think this tool is going to be extremely helpful in allowing us to see our profits grow. So let me know in the comments if you're going to be trying out the Volumetrica platform. If you guys have any questions as well, put them down in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. And of course, if you guys want an extra 5% off of your challenges, make sure to use code RayvonFX and click the link in the description to get started now.